So the Boondock Saints 2 is a 2009 film directed by Troy Duffy and pretty much has the exact same cast as the first one, 10 years earlier, released in 1999. It's gained a kind of a cult classic following, as the first one did, but the first one I think was more overall popular. And this one, is just more, as Troy Duffy stated when he did the filming and everything, it's for the fans. So what we have in this one is basically a continuation of the second one, or the first one, like I said. But I think it's, if I remember correctly, stated 10 years later anyway. So it's, it makes a little bit more sense. They've been kind of in hiding and all that. But then they are summoned basically back because somebody kills a priest in the church and directly does it so that it looks like the boys did it. So, down like that. And so it brings them back, of course, and they're on a warpath for vengeance because, they killed a priest, which, of course, is a big no-no, and they did it to make it look like them, and, of course, it brought it back the way that they were supposed to. So there's definitely some differences in this one as far as, of course, it's, 10 years later and everything, but it's also very... there's parts of it that I love, and there's parts of it that I don't love. Like I said, Troy Duffy from the beginning said it was for the fans, and that's great. But there's definitely, and it's really cool because in the very beginning of the film, after the priest death, they kind of how they did in the end of the first film with the street interviews with people. They did it this one, and it's very similar. And I think they probably just got fans and talking about it. And they're like, do you think that the Boondock Saints did this? And it was like, yes, no, whatever. Anyway, so and that's, so in this one we're introduced to Romeo instead of Rocco, who is played by the great Clifton Collins Jr., and he's basically the new Rocco in this one, and he's good, he does a good job. He's not as zany as Rocco was in the first one, but he definitely does his part well, and he basically is he's of the same opinion, but he's a lot more, like I said, he's not as zany, he's calmer because he understands what they're doing. He wants to be on the path with them, but he's just more laid back and level-headed for the most part. And there's a lot of allusions to the original, like I said already. I mean, there's the part where they get together and they all go drinking and partying like how they did in the first one, and then there's just different moments you'll see. But in this one we have a big different take. Instead of Smecker, played by the great Willem Dafoe, we have Julie Benz, and I cannot remember her name, but she is amazing. She is kind of the same, a little more kind of whatever. She's more, not as laid back and goofy as Smecker. She's very no nonsense and whatever, but of course we find out what she really is. But she's just great. And the Three Stooges are back, Three Amigos, whatever you want to call them. The other three, with Greeley as the kind of the biggest stooge of them all. But they're all back. Pretty much everybody in the original film comes back except for the people that were dead. And that's it. And the way they do it, it's a really nice. There's times when you see things where it's oh, remember when I did that? And it's like very annoying, and you can see that one. But in this, it's not. I mean, it's definitely bringing the exact same people back, which is cool, but it's just kind of, hey, they're there. They would exist in this world. They don't try to make them better or funnier or whatever like that. It's really nice to see that. Overall, I definitely recommend it. It's, when I first saw it, I kind of think that I was like, yeah, man, this is a really, really good film. I think it might even be better than the first. And then I'm like, no, it's not. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good. I definitely recommend it. But it's not as good as the first one. But check it out when you can. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And hopefully one of these days we're going to get Boondock Saints 3, like I said in the last video. We'll see how that one goes. It's like 20 years after this point. But take it easy.